on YouTube at Fort Worth Memories. Let me see if I can get the thing working this morning. There we go. Edit. I'm getting ready to edit it. So we're going to style it Tuesday, January the 28th. And I'm going to share it to the regular internet and to Memories and live videos. So we're on 4 platforms. Good morning to everybody. James is in and others. Okay, so today's pretty nice. It's in its 40s right now, so it's not too terribly cold or anything outside. Let's see what's going on. Anything? I can't think of anything. I still don't know where we're going to eat, but I'll figure it out today and let y'all know. Yesterday, I posted a picture. A friend of ours was Paul Canfield. His father was Bill Canfield, Icky Twerp. So Paul sent me those shirts. They live in Oregon, Portland, and they redid these Icky Twerp and the Gorgon. We can get them in any size. He sent me extra large and 2X with $30, so I told him we'd try to help him out. It really doesn't apply to anybody but just around the Fort Worth area. It was started in the late 50s, 59 I believe. His father and a group of guys at KTVT, Channel 11, they came up with Slam Bang Theater. His father did. And if I remember correctly, they did all of these skits after hours at that studio on West Freeway, and they were already off the clock. I don't think any of them got paid for any of it. That's kind of weird. That never happened today. You'd have been paid for it. But anyway, so if you're interested in a Gorgon or a Icky Twerp shirt, those are kind of neat looking. I'm doing a seller shirt, so it's probably going to be ready in 3 or 4 weeks. I hadn't approved the artwork on it yet. Okay, so while we're doing that, let's do our sponsors, who along with y'all help keep this thing going. There is Winstead Paint and Body. They're on White Settlement and Roberts Cutoff, about a block off of there. And that's right across the street from those new apartments that's called Crystal Springs. Crystal Springs was the dance pavilion, that's the way they were listed back then, where Milton Brown, who invented Western Swing, not Bob Wills. Bob Wills moved it up, way on up the totem pole, but Milton Brown and his Brownies, they started Western Swing. And in fact, in the museum, we've got the piano that was from Fred Papa T. Calhoun, who was the first piano player for a string band anywhere in the world. He played with Milton Brown and Bob Wills. Brittany's in, Marilyn's in, Larry's in. Okay, Scott, there's our IT guru. He is available for web design, consultation, whatever you need to do. It's not, you can't get him by phone. You need to send him an instant messenger, and then give him your phone number and he'll call you. Alpha Design and Build is Lance Sanders. They can remodel a room or a building, or they can put a second story on one. Whatever you need done, all you got to do is call and let Lance come out, and y'all sit down and figure out what you're trying to accomplish. Casey Crawl is our Medicare and Medicaid insurance people. They're very knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. They can help you with your problems, so don't go through all of the waiting on the telephone deal for some government agency to talk to you. Just call Casey Crawl and his insurance ladies and team, and they'll come out and fix you. They'll meet you at your place. You can meet them at their place, wherever. That's no longer Schwartz and Hanson. Jerry Schwartz and his partner, they've been sponsors for about 8 years. But they've been on the back giveaway for longer than that. Okay, Rex has got his new bar and grill open. It's in the old Macaroni Grill over in the same parking lot with his other restaurant, Old South Pancake House. So we are going to have our birthday party and the boxing program at Rex's Bar and Grill. In fact, I'm going to get the lady that is Rex's event planner in contact with Sherry Holt, and Sherry wants to do the birthday party at the third week of July, I think. Third week of July. She's a school teacher, so she knows. She said sometimes we have it too late, and that's why we don't get a lot of activity, because there's school's already started and stuff. So we're going to go with her knowledge, and she's helps on all of our events. Brains Plumbing is a family-owned business. A lot of y'all have already used them. They're very good. I've gotten a lot of good reviews from them. So if you got any plumbing problem, just call them and they will send somebody out. There's Ginger. Good morning. Charlie Guerin, Railhead Barbecue. What can I say? They got a great restaurant. Charlie is a state rep. He's also on my board of directors at Larry's Kids. He also brought in the second most amount of money behind me, tens of thousands of dollars, for the giveaway last December 14th. Passport Getaways, if you want to take a trip or a cruise or go see the Eiffel Tower or just fly around the country, call Passport Getaways. Let them do all the legwork, and then all you got to do is give them the credit card money and go enjoy your fun. Where am I? Well, it's not working. Hold on, I'm coming. Passport Getaways, Optimist Club of Fort Worth. I still have not been able to talk to Jeff Norman, and I thought I left a text message. I'll put that on my notes and check it. But they do a lot of stuff for youth, youth baseball, scholarships, all kinds of stuff. And that's something else that I want to bring up at our first board meeting in February for Larry's Kids. Is the idea of maybe a backpack giveaway. We did it in 2018, 19, and 20. It was really a big deal. But what made it so good was that Staples told me, if you bring us a check for $10,000, we'll give you 40% off. So that's what we did. Also, we had a specialty advertising company that donated all of the backpacks. That was a huge deal. So And then also we're going to talk about scholarships in the future. You know, something for Tarrant County Community College, $1,000. Larry's Kids was such a huge success, and it stirred a lot of enthusiasm in our community and outside our community, that I think we can do more than just the giveaway. And of course, there's some board members that think we shouldn't do the toys. I'm not one of them, and I'm the president of the board. But I go along with whatever we decide is going to be the best. Beth is in, Ronnie is in, Tom is in. If you need a fancy dancy writing pen as a gift for Father's Day or whatever, go to Tom Reynolds' Facebook page. He made one for me, and then my oldest, not my oldest, one of my middle sons captured it. The one that works for Elon Musk, Kevin. He's the one with 162 IQ. Okay, so Tom Reynolds he has some really neat pens, and he puts them on the lathe. He shows you the whole process. It's fascinating. Okay, Old South Pancake House. That's another Rex Benson owned company. So when you pull into Old South on University, both of those businesses are owned by Rex. Rex's Bar and Grill, which is the old macaroni grill, and Old South Pancake House. That location for Old South is 24/7. The one in Burleson, they close at 9 or 10, whatever time they close. K Ranch Roofing, Jorge Hernandez. This is his third year as one of our roofing sponsors. Y'all have given me a lot of great reviews on him. When you call to get an appointment, you'll talk to Bree, and Bree sets up all of the stuff, and she's really closely involved with the whole project. Jenny Stewart is our insurance lady, State Farm Insurance. You know, I tell people all the time, it doesn't cost you anything to get a quote, so if you've been using Farmers or whoever and you think maybe it's too high, call Jenny and let her team give you a quote. I'm telling you, about a year and a half ago or so, they went up $99 on me with Farmers on every vehicle, and there's 40 of them. Then about a year after that, they went up another $49. And they tried to tell me that it's not the company, it's the insurance, like there's some insurance company of the world or something. And stupid me, I'm still doing business with them. But so it's about $500 a month on the company vehicles. Brandon Cross, he's our electrician. Thank you. He is another family-owned business, just people trying to make a living right here in Fort Worth. So if you've got electrical problems, don't try to fix it. I can tell you from experience, I got knocked off a ladder at the location on West 5th where Blue Mesa is now. It was a 250 watt bulb. And I was trying, I don't know what I touched or whatever, I was taking it off, and I didn't kill the power. And I had my truck then parked up close to the building, so somehow my body fell down to the ground. That's what saved me from getting killed, I guess. Scratched the hell out of my back, but anyway, so call Brandon Cross and let him come out. He knows what he's doing. Fort Worth Lumber, they have been with us from the get-go. That's all I can tell you. They're on 35. They've been a sponsor ever since I've been live. Good. Tom Reynolds just sent me a deal, said he's going to make me another one. So the one you made me might be in some big meetings with old Elon Musk, the richest guy on the planet, or they say he is. Express Dent. Dick Regester and me go back about 40-something years. That's when he started his, and I think I'd already been in business a few years. Anyway, Dick is the owner, or one of the owners of Express Dent. So if you got hell dings, door dings, anything like that, they can fix it. They're over on White Settlement Road over by the Montgomery Plaza deal. Eric is the operating partner. Dick lives in the Sunshine State of Florida. I guess he likes it down there. He's been there for many, many years. So take your vehicle over there and let Eric take care of it for you. They do great work. Dickey Carr Sand and Gravel. That's Pat and Richard Carr. Very, very active in community and civic events. Always there to help. In fact, Richard and Pat wrote the first $5,000 check donation for Larry's kids. So they're kind of special, real special. Now, this is Richard's nephew, Dickey Carr, which is not... Dickey Carr Sand and Gravel was Richard Carr's father. So this is Richard's nephew, Dickey Carr. He's about 30-something. He's got a company called Grateful for Your Trees. Anything to do with trees. Cutting them down, making firewood out of them, whatever. And he's got all the equipment to do it. He's not somebody out here with a chainsaw from Home Depot. He knows what he's doing, and he's not as expensive as some of these national outfits. Carl's in, Bill Palmer's in. So, Dickey Carr. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering, Pam is in. Do what? I don't know, you need to talk to Sylvia. I'm in Fort Worth. Well, they're there. You're not at the right location. We start down there at 6. Ma'am, you'll need to call Sylvia. How did you get hired on? Call Sylvia. They're there. They've been working for almost an hour. Okay, thank you. Pam is in. Okay, Steve Coburn. Coburn's Catering goes back. The original cafeteria on North Main opened in 46. I say that. Their catering, I guess the cafeteria too, opened in 46. Otha Coburn. I've been associated or friends with the Coburns since 1964 or 5. Gary Coburn, Otha, Steve's father, Steve, great people. So if you go out to the stock show or the rodeo, you're going to eat their barbecue. Bert Ladner, Real Estate, our friend Wes Williams is associated with that group. And Wes is also on my board of directors at Larry's Kids. We've got another real estate sponsor named Eric Walsh, who's also on the board of directors at Larry's Kids. So either one of those outfits can fix can take care of whatever you need with real estate. I'm going the wrong way here. There we go. Last but not least, Doug Peacock's A-Bird, AC, and Heating. Company. So if you got problems with your heat and air unit, you just call them and let them come out and tell you what the damage is. It ain't cheap, I can tell you. But it's not as high as you think sometimes. Hold on, I gotta get... Hello. Yeah, who is that? She's on the live. how could she apply for a job if she's not even at the right location? Oh, okay. Alright, well, no, I told her to call you. Alright. Alright, bye. Okay. It's a strange deal. Here's our Cleveland group. Let me get back to doing what I'm doing here. So our Cleveland group is written in. There's the Icky Twerp and Gargon t-shirts. Larry, there was a helium plant. Yeah, I know. What do you want to know about it? It was the largest helium plant in the world. Brenda's in. It was the largest helium plant in the world. It was built by the Army and the Navy in 1918. The reason for, you're wanting to know the reason Fort Worth was selected out of the entire world. The Petrolia, Petrolia, natural gas find, or whatever you call it, was real close to there. So they started extracting helium gas from natural gas. And it was the largest one in the world. So all of those big dirigibles came here. The plant was built in 21. They started construction in 18. It closed on 29. And then they moved the plant to Amarillo. I think it was Amarillo or Wichita Falls. That Petrolia gas find, or whatever you call that, was close to Wichita Falls. So in 29 they closed the one on Cold Springs Road and Blue Mountain Road. Really, the address is, I think, at 4400 Blue Mountain Road. There was 22 buildings, and there was 6 that were actually big buildings. That thing's still there. No, it was still in operation, but they moved it. They closed down the one here on Blue Mountain Road and opened it up, and I think it was in Amarillo. Sandy's in. Good morning. George is in. Michael's in. Brenda's in. John is in. Okay, so what's your other question? The Tarrant County Jail or the Fort Worth City Jail? Tarrant County Jail. That's kind of a sore subject right now with all the deaths that they're trying to get something figured out on. Bill Wayburn, I've interviewed him many times. He's a member of our group. He's a good guy. I don't know what the answer is. I've said many times that procedure they follow of putting your knee and their knee in your back, they need to stop that because it's killing people. I heard the video of George Floyd. He said he couldn't breathe. He died. This Marine that was killed, they said that he was murdered at our jail, said the same thing. You can hear it on the video. I can't breathe. So why in the hell are we still putting our knee in their back? And I've heard Sheriff Wayburn say, well, that's a good tool to use, but you got to know how. Well, apparently we're not training them to know how long to pull your knee out of their back. I wouldn't even let them do it. Well, the first jail was completed in 1877. It was a kind of a rinky-dink jail. It was behind the where the old 1895 courthouse is now, where they made Walker Texas Ranger. That first jail, you could the inmates, you could pick the door up that had the bars and actually take it off the hinges, and so they regularly left at night and would come back in the morning and go back in the jail. It's the craziest thing I ever heard. So they got that problem fixed. They called the company back out, I guess, that built it or whoever they hired, and they said, change that lock mechanism. Well, when they changed it, you didn't need a key. I mean, it was the Three Stooges. So they had a bond drive in 1884 and raised $60,000 for a new fancy dancy jail. George is in, and Ricky is in, Janelle is in. So they built another jail in 1884. That was the first really permanent jail. That other jail, there was one that was actually built in 1856 that was on the corner of Belknap and Rusk. It was not, Rusk became Commerce. So, and that jail was wooden. So, we were fighting back and forth with Birdville for the county seat, so E.M. Daggett and Cam Van Zant, that John Peter Smith, all that group, they went down, sent our representative down to Austin and said, hey, if we move the county seat to Fort Worth, here's what these people are going to do. They're going to build a 2-story brick courthouse that's got a jail in it. So that's when it started that. There was actually, Brenda's in, there was actually in that 1884 jail that was 3 stories, and it had an underground tunnel that went to the courthouse so they could transfer prisoners under the street. That was a 3-story affair, and that's where we actually carried out executions. And the last execution they carried out, hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. They carried out 8 executions. The last one was in 1888. It was, they hung them, and that, I might be speaking out of turn here, that gallows is still in the old courthouse. It was in there 5 or 6 years ago when I got a private tour on a Sunday. Y'all probably remember that. I videoed it. The reason they left it was because if they would have taken down that old gallows, they feared that public disdain would have been through the roof, which it would have been. You can't keep anything secret, so when they would have started taking down that wooden gallows, reporters would have got a hold of it, and they'd have never solved that deal. So anyway, they stopped executing people in 1888 by hanging them. And then we went through the court process system where you got, if you were convicted of horse stealing or murder or whatever, you went through the courts, and then we had the state jail system, so you went down to Huntsville, the Walls unit. And actually, in those early days, if you were caught stealing a horse, that was a more severe, you were hung on the spot. There was no court. If you took a person's horse, they figured you just took everything that he owned, and you were hung out in the county. There was a hanging tree that was down on Cold Springs Road right off of what is that, University, Northside Drive and Cold Springs Road. I actually used to have driving history lessons, and that tree stood right there, and I would bring people by there, and finally this Hispanic guy came out one Saturday and said, what do you bring all these people over here and look at this tree? And I told him, I said, that's the hanging tree. They would leave people hanging for several days to deter other people from doing that crime. And so 2 weeks later when we went back, he owned the property. He bulldozed the tree and made a parking lot out of it. Who was in that early jail? Long hair Jim Cartwright was in it. Bat Masterson was in it. Luke Sharp was in it. The Reverend Jim Miller, and I think his father was a reverend, and maybe him too. He killed a lot of people. He was in that jail. Wyatt Earp, I can't tell you for sure he was, but Dr. Seltzer might be able to tell you. They say that Wyatt Earp was in there. Wyatt was hanging out around Indian Territory, Oklahoma, and they wanted him for horse stealing, and he was on the run because they would have killed him. But he was here, and in fact, one of his brothers was the bartender at the Stag Saloon and lived here for a number of years. Cole Younger was here. He lived over kind of where the old Texas Stadium was in Irving, and he would ride over in a carriage on Thursday, and he would stay in a room over the Stag Saloon, and he dealt Pharaoh. But all of them were here. Doc Holliday was here. Big Nose Kate was here. Of course, we know the Hole in the Wall gang was here because that's where they had their picture made. That's the most famous Fort Worth photograph. It's nicknamed the Fort Worth Five, and it's Butch Cassidy, the Sundance Kid, Kid Curry, that group. So, but yeah, there was a lot of Lisa's in. There's a lot of the more famous gangsters that were here. Kent is in. Why don't I write a book? I am writing a book. I might need to get another ghostwriter. I had two people, and one of the ladies is just been diagnosed with breast cancer, so I think we're going to have to redo this thing. Next year, 26. I know where the bodies are buried. Okay, so I got to go out here and try to finish up the car because I've got a group coming at 10. There was a gentleman in here yesterday, and he wanted to know why I still got those balloons up, and I'll show you. You see that? That's the balloons from the giveaway. They're still up over a month. The reason I do that is because I just found out, I found out last year, it was $1,100 for those 6 stands and those balloons. But those balloons must be something special because they've been up since December 14th. And so I did that to remind myself, to remind our comptroller, we ain't buying no $1,100 worth of balloons anymore. I'm sure a big portion, Bill Palmer even said it, or somebody, a big portion of it is those metal stands. So, hell, after the event was over, they were just going to throw them in a dumpster somewhere. I said, oh no, bring them to my office. Jeannie's in, Sandy's. So, the Slam Bang shirts, okay, there they are. Got them in all sizes. Icky Twerk, and then Gorgon is the other one. That was the night show. I think it was on Friday night, Bill said, or somebody. It was called Nightmare. I remember I watched it. Not as often as I watched Slam Bang Theater. God, I always tell people I never had a childhood, but I really did, I guess, because I remember Slam Bang Theater. But it was kind of hectic, to say the least. Okay, I'm gonna go out here and get started on Gabe Harmon's Suburban and get it finished before my 10 o'clock museum tour or whatever that deal is. I don't know how to answer that. Well, I'm not going to get into that part of the politics. There's some things that are happening that maybe I don't like either, so. But we're not going to discuss that on here. I guarantee you there's a change in the atmosphere, though, or the landscape. Okay, so I'll figure it out where we're going to eat on Saturday. It'll be somewhere away from here because here is where all the people are that are going to the stock show. And they say it's going to be a record year. Of course, I think it's a record year every year. But I had a lady call me yesterday when I got home, and she said, well, where's the rodeo? The rodeo is at Dickey's. The only thing that's changed about the old stock show and rodeo is that the rodeo's moved to the new Dickey's Arena off of Montgomery. All of the rides and all of the exhibits at the exhibit building is still at Will Rogers. And if you go on Thursday, I don't know why I have the hiccups. If you go on Thursday and wear a TCU or shirt or hat or something purple, you get in free. I have no clue who that is. Okay, so the thing that I just got was some kind of letter was sent out by, I don't even know who it was from. I got asked by Carlos Flores people to reshare a letter that was about some substitute teacher that wants the immigration people to come and inspect our schools. So I did not have a dog in that hunt. There's no side I took on it. Sometimes they come to me and say, will you reshare this because we have a bigger following than they do. So that's all I did. I've since taken it down. I don't even know what it's about. Randy and Cody are in, Elaine's in, Greg and Don are in. So I don't have a position on that. I since took that letter down. But sometimes the city, police, fire, and the city all know that they have our permission to post information that we need to know. It's just another way to get the information out there, but I don't know anything about it, where the teacher was, what school it was, or anything. I think what is happening is with the new national administration, there's all kinds of stuff, the DEI or this or that, and so they're trying to conform to it. I don't know, the different stance on immigration now. It's a mess, and I guess it's going to be that way until they get it settled out. But I do not have a position on that. I mean, I just simply reshared it. And I put on there that council member Flores had asked me to reshare it. We did. And then I was out there detailing the car, and one of y'all, I think, said, hey, you need to get on the group. They're going crazy over that letter you posted. So I think then Scott deleted or banned about 20 or 30 people. And so then I called Scott, and he went back to each individual one, and they apologized or whatever. So we let everybody back on. I don't know how he does it. Every time I've kicked somebody off, you can't. I don't know how I do it different because I'm the only admin, I guess. When I do it, you can't get back on. For some reason, I don't know why. If you kick them off, why you can't get them back on. Okay, so Uh, we ate at Zeke's last week. All the barbecue places are going to be jammed. I did see a post from that Craft Barbecue that's out past Westside Cafe, and man, that burger looked fantastic. But they say that place, there's a waiting line to get in. So I don't know what y'all think, or we can go back to what was the spaghetti place we went to? Is Brittany on? I haven't seen her yet, but I know she's on here. Ginger's on. Yeah, Brittany's there. One of y'all, please check that. What's the name of that national spaghetti? Olive Garden. See if there's actually really a special. I mean, the food was great. It's a little pricey, but see if they have a special at that one out there by Ridgemar Mall. Because I think that manager of that store that came over and talked to us said, well, there are different stores that have different specials. But that was really a neat place. I don't even know if y'all want to go back and eat Italian food. And check and see if that Margie's is open. John Penn acts like, I think he said it's open. So anyway, we'll come up with something. Bring back Michael. There's a lot of us on with the South Texas group. About 90 people. Sam is in. The boxing in Cowtown and the birthday party will be at Rex's. And I'm going to let Sherry and Ginger and those folks that have been helping us all the time, they want to have it in July, the third week of July for the birthday party. That's fine. And then I'm flexible. We can do the boxing program, let's see, the first 2 weeks of February, then the stock show's done. So April or May, whichever. And that'll also be at Rex's. So I'm going to get Rex's lady, there's a event planner, get with our ladies, and we'll get that figured out. So that way, if you want to have a drink or a beer while the boxers are there, or the birthday party, that'll work. Birthday party is the 12th year. The boxing program is the 12th one. We did have 1 year we didn't do it, but we had another year that we did 2 boxing programs. And surprisingly, all the boxers that come to our deal, they're still all alive. We can't get Nick back. She won't let him come. They live in Mineola, Nick Wells. But he used to come to all of them. I've got all of his boxing trophies. I've got the gloves he knocked out Larry Holmes twice with. So, but we're going to make this boxing in Cowtown program real special because Rex wants some memorabilia to keep there. Apparently when you walk in over there, there's some display windows, and he's going to want gloves or something signed by the boxers. And so this year also I'm working on a deal where that group of boxers, Curry, Stevie Cruz, Jay Strickland, all of them, they have no income. They have disability. So I'm trying to put together a deal where they go to some of these sports bars and they make $100 in an afternoon or something a piece, because they don't make any income. And they're all broke. Yep, Gene Hatcher comes to them. He was there last year. Stevie Cruz is all, he don't miss no more. Don is, Sam McNeese, in fact, brought Don last time because Paul Reyes, who has since passed, had just gotten out of a rehabilitation deal. He had been in a regular hospital and then they had him in a rehab deal. and he didn't feel like getting out. So Sam offered to. Sam always offers. I need to. He builds bikes. He does whatever we need. Whatever it is, you just ask Sam and he'll do it. He's a retired postal employee, and now he enjoys hunting and fishing and all kinds of stuff. But Sam brought Don Curry the last boxing program. And those guys, they're really, it's good to hear their story. Like Gene Hatcher, he fought Bumpus, and that was kind of like the huge underdog. Everybody thought Johnny Bumpus had knocked Hatcher out. Hatcher knocked him out. So I used to drink beer with Gene's daddy at the Blue Note back in my drinking days. Okay, I got to get out here and get started. Don't forget, if you want a Gorgon or a Slam Bang shirt, Icky Twerp shirt, and we are going to make some seller shirts, but it's going to have more than the seller. It's going to be a kind of a combination shirt with seller, the year 1980 where we had all the 100-degree temperatures, and maybe a couple other things. So anyway, that'll be to come. The Icky Twerp and Gorgon shirts are $30. In fact, I need to send that to Paul. Paul is in Portland, Oregon. Good people. And in fact, I was looking at his card. I didn't look at it when I got the shirts. Cam Creations, glass mosaics, furniture, agricultural salvage, custom remodel projects. And his business card just says The Carpenter. Jennifer is in. Marquita is in. Now, the Rosie story, I think, has come to an end. She was supposed to work yesterday. Didn't even call. So I'm done. Now, I can bring Teresa in from San Antonio if we need somebody more than what we've got. I don't know what happened to Rosie. You know, she stayed incarcerated for about 70 days. It's completely out of character. But, you know, like I say, what are you going to say? Okay, so I will talk to y'all here in an hour or two. Let me get signed.